Hi there, Laura Turley. I'm a licensed massage therapist and I specialize in the lymphatic system. And today we're going to do a video for Insight Wellness Works. We're going to do a video of an at-home version of manual lymphatic drainage. Actually, we're going to call it dry brushing today. I did a longer version of the manual using just your hands on the skin. So dry brushing is similar, but it's got some extra benefits, or perhaps you could look at it like some extra concerns. All right. Extra benefits of dry brushing versus the manual is that this is a little bit more stimulating. Okay. This also can have an exfoliant benefit to the skin if you like. The downside of those things is if you're not looking for anything terribly stimulating, if your condition does not allow for it, right? So we're looking for a bristle brush, a boar bristle brush that is gentle enough to the touch that it's not going to scrape your skin. We're going to do a very light touch with this brush, similar to the manual, but you can't deny that we've got bristles here. So we want to be really careful. Dry brushing is not for everyone. If your condition is not conducive to a brush against the skin, if you've got very thin skin, if you're on medication that's going to cause that skin to tear a little bit more, then this is not for you. I would go ahead and watch the manual lymphatic drainage using just your fingertips. Okay. But if dry brushing does appeal to you and your condition allows for it, most people dry brush before they get in the shower. I've had a couple clients say, I dry brush in the shower, and that's not dry brushing. All right, we want to dry brush before we get in the shower, and really not even after we get out of the shower, because the skin does tend to be a little thinner, a little more fragile perhaps when it's damp. So before we get in the shower. All right. And so dry brushing is going to follow a very similar sequence to our manual lymphatic drainage. It's going to be very light touch. I'm going to start up here, right? Because the lymphatic system will collect fluid throughout the body. Let's just say it starts at the ankles, picks up fluid down there, moves it all the way up, and the good stuff drains back here. Good stuff, protein, plasma, hormones. The lymphatic system carries a lot of good stuff in addition to toxins, invaders, dead cells, damaged cells, and what have you. Okay. So dry brushing. We're going to start up here at the neck, clearing the path. Very similar to what was in our last video. And I'm not going to revisit everything that was in that video. But why do we dry brush? Why do we do manual lymphatic drainage? To boost our immune system, right? To really encourage the flow of that lymphatic system, to get those lymph nodes to filter out any invaders or toxins. It also reduces fluid swelling. Remember, well, this is done very lightly. I'm going to stop here a moment. Very lightly, we're clearing a path. So we're not brushing, we're not exfoliating in this particular technique. This is dry brushing for manual lymphatic drainage. You're still going to get a bit of an exfoliant benefit, but that's not the primary goal here. So going back to, why are we doing this? Dry brushing, again, this is more stimulating to the body than the manual. I'm filming this in the middle of a pandemic, so a lot of us are spending more time at home. So probably need a little more stimulation. Maybe we're feeling a little puffy and swollen. Remember, we've got lymph nodes right around here and here. So I'm going to stimulate those first. Clear the path for these vessels to drain their fluid into those lymph nodes. And again, I'm not brushing across the skin. We don't want to do that. Women don't. We're not going to brush harshly across the skin. It's a bit of a brush and a little bit of a drag. Okay, working our way from the lymph node. And if you wanted to Work on that nose too. Most of our lymphatic vessels are on the front of our body, so you can get a lot done with your own at-home treatment. Okay, and now I'm going to work under the chin because we've got a lot of nodes under here as well. Remember in the last video, we said we've got 500 to 700 lymph nodes, those little bean-like structures that we have all felt at one time, from time to time. And they carry white blood cells, and they are meant to filter out the fluid, the lymphatic fluid, filter out toxins, invaders, anything that's kind of gumming up our system. Remember that the lymphatic system is a one-way system. There's no heart pumping it through the body in a big circle. So the lymphatic system requires a few different things from you to move properly. It requires muscle contraction, deep breathing, and gravity. Okay? A lot of us aren't doing that throughout the day. Whether we're in a pandemic or not, a lot of us are not getting in the movement, the muscle contraction that we need. We're certainly not deep breathing. Hopefully you are. And gravity. So swollen fingers, swollen ankles, lifting them above our heart. I mean, it's something simple as that. The body is made with innate wisdom. It's meant to be simple. It's not complicated at all. So I've cleared the path, and you might see it's a little bit red, which is fine. We're stimulating the blood flow underneath there. And then I'm going to go right, just like in the last video, right to the axillary nodes. In fact, I'm going to work on this side this time, okay? So there's a cluster of nodes here, axillary nodes. They drain the fluids from the breast tissue, from the pec area here, and from the arm. I start on the arm first. Other people like to work around the breast and the pec tissue first. That's entirely up to you. But what we want to do is kind of wake those nodes up. Dry brushing is usually done better without clothes on, but we're not going to do that in this video. So just waking that lymph node up, and just like before, we're working our way out, clearing a path. I'm working a little bit quicker than you might at home. Maybe you'll take longer. Once we've cleared the path, maybe you want to take longer strokes. That can be a little more stimulating. Remember, that's more exfoliating. The goal here is manual lymphatic drainage using a dry brush as a tool. Just be real careful with your tissue before you do long, heavier strokes. And then we're going to open up these cubital lymph nodes. A little bit of stimulation there, and then working our way outward. And maybe 3 to 5 strokes. Remember, your lymphatic vessels are very superficial. They're very close to the skin. You do not need deep pressure when stimulating the lymphatic fluid. And we've got vessels in our hands too, so you can give them a little hello there. Okay. Now, we'll finish that arm, and I'm going to finish this axillary area. Just like in the last video, I use the center of the breast as my guide. So anything on the outside, I'm going to encourage up. Anything on the inside, I'm going to move in towards the sternum area because we've got lymph nodes there as well. So I always like to start on the outside because these axillary nodes can get really gummed up with our lifestyle today. We work on a computer, we drive a lot. We're not getting a lot of expansion in unless you're doing a lot of yoga and movement, which is great. But if you're not, don't be shy about standing up and doing some windmills throughout. Can't do windmills here. Windmills throughout the day. Keep this open and stimulated. Okay. Be careful with the breast tissue here. Breast tissue can get very thin after a certain age. So we want to be mindful of that. Very light strokes on up. And then I'm going to come Work my way in. Okay, in that, remember we've cleared the path. And I'm going to stand up and just finish here on the torso area. So up, axillary. Again, I'm going a little quicker here than you might want to do at home. You want to be very gentle. Out, out, up. This is considered the watershed area on the side here where it collects. Moving it up. Center of the breast in to the center. Moving it up, encouraging that flow. Inward, upward, encouraging that flow, outward, upward. And the last thing we're going to do here in this video is stimulate the inguinal line, which are your lymph nodes right here at the crick of the leg. We've got a lot of clusters. We've got a large cluster there as well. Stimulate those and work our way back. Okay. So we're not going to do the lower extremities here, but you're going to follow the same logic, stimulating that inguinal line and working your way down your thigh, stimulating behind the knee where you've got some popliteal lymph nodes, and then working your way down the calf to the feet. So again, dry brushing is a nice alternative as an at-home treatment for a manual lymphatic drainage. It's more stimulating, not only for the blood flow, but for the skin. So be careful. This is not for everybody, but do enjoy your treatment. I'm Laura Turley with Professional Lymphatic Therapy, and I'm providing this video for Insight Wellness Works. Enjoy.